Red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light.
Well, lads and lassies, grab yourself a drink and pull up a chair because we've got a return. Here he comes indeed. It's the Wanderer. He's back here on the Soul Sessions.
First of all, don't worry. There's no need to fear because the Wanderer is back on the Soul Sessions. It's been a while since the Wanderer has been on the Soul Sessions. Since the last time we spoke, a lot of things have happened.
Indeed they have, my friend. Indeed, a lot has happened.
It's an honour to be back on the show. How are you doing?
Truly an honour, Wanderer. You are a great man who's done many great things since your last appearance, and I'm happy to have you back. But of course, we kind of really need to catch up. We need to see what you've been up to. Some good stuff, some cheeky stuff, and some stuff that's gotten you great success, my friend. So I do want to know, obviously, since you were last on, how you been? What's been going on?
Well, listen, since the last time we spoke, the Wanderer has been here, there, and most importantly, everywhere. So wherever the Wanderer goes, the Wanderer makes himself known, as you know. So, yes, a lot's happened since the last time we spoke. The Wanderer has wrestled some of the best names in pro wrestling. The Wanderer has put on some of the best shows that Scotland has ever seen. That's right. The Wanderer has definitely made an impact in 2024. In 2025, it's just going to get bigger. Then 2026 is just going to get bigger than that. So yeah, the Wanderer has a lot of plans for the future. So watch this space because the Wanderer is going to make an impact in professional wrestling.
It's rising, and rising. Always indeed for you, my friend. Not only for yourself, obviously, but of course, Attitude Pro Wrestling as well. Truly exceptional stuff you've done as well. And if I have to bring up anything, I have to obviously bring up Ruggy Series. Stellar show put on. Look, I know it might be a bit of a touchy subject, and of course, Team Wanderer versus Team Ravie-Davie. You didn't get the win, bud, but I do have to bring it up. It happened. It's on the record books. I just want your thoughts on that team versus team scenario.
Well, listen here. The Ruggy Series match, in many ways, was a huge success. It was one of the biggest matches in Scottish wrestling. Sorry. It was the biggest match in Scottish wrestling this year. 5 of the very best versus 5 of the not so very best. However, it was a 5-on-5 match. Team Wanderer versus Team Ravie-Davie. It was one of the biggest matches Scottish wrestling has ever seen. And I'll tell you something. The Team Wanderer let the Wanderer down that night. That's right. It wasn't Thatcher Wright. It wasn't Nick Justice. It wasn't the big strong man. It was Manky Frankie that let Team Wanderer down. That's right. The Wanderer was about to kill Hornswoggle with that steel chair. That solid steel chair. And Manky Frankie grabbed it off the Wanderer. He stopped the Wanderer from winning. He stopped Team Wanderer from ruling Scottish wrestling. Scottish wrestling was in the palm of our hands. And Manky Frankie took that away from us. For what? For what?
Wanderer, that's a shame, mate. I mean, disrespect as well. And I can't see any disrespect happening to guests of my show. That's allowed. That cannot be tolerated. I mean...
But there's one thing for certain, Mr. Soul Session. One thing that is for certain. The war is not over. And at Ruggy Havoc, Ravie-Davie is going to lose the war that he's been battling inside his head because he's going up against TNA wrestling icon Suicide for the APW Scottish Championship. Ravie-Davie is going to lose the war against the Wanderer because Suicide is going to take everything away from him at Ruggy Havoc.
Oh, indeed, mate. As well, and obviously you mentioned Manky Frankie. He's going to be playing for it as well. He's obviously going against Renzo Rose, somebody I've
That's
spoken
right.
to.
Manky Frankie is going up against an international wrestling sensation that is Renzo Rose. Renzo Rose has wrestled some of the best names in professional wrestling. He's been all over the globe. And he's going up against Manky Frankie. He's come to Scotland to wrestle that absolute joke of a professional wrestler. Names like Renzo Rose, Sammy D, they are all paving their way in the wrestling world, while guys like Manky Frankie sit on their arse in the couch at their house, sitting drinking cans of Tennent's all day, feeling sorry for themselves, wrestling when they feel like it. Not even training, not even chasing the opportunities that they're getting. So Renzo Rose, he's going to make a fool out of Manky Frankie at Ruggy Havoc. He's coming to Rutherglen to prove why there's levels to this game.
Fair play indeed. And obviously, Manky's definitely put himself in a bit of a hanky-spanky spot. I do want to know, wonder if, he could get in your good books again. Is there something he could do? Is there something he could make or do to appeal to the Wanderer to get back on your good side?
Listen, Manky Frankie has a lot to prove to the Wanderer if he wants to make it in pro wrestling, because let's be honest, without the Wanderer, Manky Frankie is nothing in pro wrestling. Manky Frankie wouldn't be in Scottish wrestling right now if it wasn't for the Wanderer. The Wanderer has lifted and laid that absolute joke of a professional wrestler. He's not even a professional wrestler. He's just a fat trainee. That's all he is. However, he's got a lot to prove at Ruggy Havoc. If he can go out there and beat Renzo Rose fair and square, he's got me. He's proved himself again. He's back in. And APW will be ours once again.
My, indeed, my friend. That is something as well. And I know somebody you said that you have a good side to. Obviously, Nick Justice will be going against Stan the Slav.
Oh, yes. Mr. Nick Justice, the greatest police officer in all of police officers that have ever lived on this earth. That's right. Mr. Justice is out doing good for this community. All those kids that are looking up to all the role models like the Wanderer, Nick Justice, Thatcher Wright, and the big strong man. Nick Justice is out there trying to make a good name for professional wrestling, while you've got people like Stan the Slav making a joke of professional wrestling, just like Manky Frankie. All they're concerned about is drinking alcohol and having a good time. That's not what this is about. In professional wrestling, we're trying to climb the ladder. We're trying to make it to the top. And there's people like them making an absolute joke of it. Making a joke of all the hard work that we put in to this game.
Right, absolutely. And I know
that's right.
Nick is
That Justice has to wrestle Stan the Slav in a strap match. That's a joke. Commissioner Wallace, what are you doing? Making this match official. Nick Justice would have had it in the bag, fair and square at the traditional rules. And Stan the Slav wants to go against Nick Justice in a strap match. Don't make me laugh, Mr. Stan the Slav. Nick Justice, although he wants to beat you at the traditional rules, Mr. Nick Justice cuffs people daily. That's his job. He's out there making sure all the scumbags that are out there in the streets of Glasgow are out. That's what he's out there doing. He's out there keeping our people safe, while people like Stan the Slav are out there endangering the environment.
Okay. Very true, Wonder. Very true. And of course, I know you and Stan have a very long, a very violent.
Stanislav was beaten. You were there.
I was.
Stanislav said, I quit. Stanislav said, I quit in front of all those rowdy CPW fans. Stanislav let CPW down. Stanislav quit CPW. That's right. Stanislav get fooled by his own mascot. Oleg, the Slav kid, was living in Stanislav's shadow. So Oliver Prince is unlocked now. So that is a future star in Glasgow School of Wrestling that you all need to look out for. That's right. Oliver Prince is going to make a name for himself in pro wrestling. He doesn't need Stanislav. The truth is, Stanislav needed Oleg. That's right. Stanislav was using Oleg to get himself over. That's right. He was using that poor little kid to get himself over because he couldn't do it himself. So the Wanderer knocked some sense into that little boy's head, and that little boy saw the light, and he's out of that trap now, and he's in there working his arse off, his butt off every day at Glasgow School of Wrestling. And when the time comes, when he reaches that age, once he gets older, once he grows stronger, once he gets that experience, that little boy is going to take off in the wrestling world. And you heard it from the man himself first.
Hey, I'll definitely hear
So
it first. And
Stanislav, he quit. He let everybody down in CPW. But most importantly, he should have never stepped foot in APW after that performance that afternoon before Clash at the Castle at Cease and Desist. Stanislav should have just walked away and never stepped foot in Attitude Pro Wrestling ever again. And what did he do? He came back. For what? For his revenge on the Wanderer. The Wanderers already took everything away from him. He's never going to take anything away from the Wanderer. And Nick Justice is going to take everything away from Stanislav. Nick Justice is going to do what the Wanderer already done. Nick Justice is going to send Stanislav away from Attitude Pro Wrestling. And guess what? You're never going to see Stanislav in a Scottish wrestling ring again after what Nick Justice is going to do to him at Ruggy Havoc. That's right. This is a strap match. This is one of the most dangerous matches in professional wrestling. And Nick Justice is going to serve Stanislav some justice.
Ooh, Wonder, that's menacing stuff there. And strap matches, they are intense. I mean, I know Nick's very much about all the justice and bringing, serving punishments and around the Scottish scene.
He's not serving punishment. He's serving goodness. He's bringing greatness to this environment. He's keeping our community safe. And most importantly, he's keeping professional wrestling safe.
Very fair point indeed. We do want it to be safe. And Nick Justice, he is a man that is happy to lay down that crusade and make sure we're safe around the Scottish scene as well. Now, Wonder, of course, something I need to talk about, something I've been seeing going on about the Scottish scene, and mostly around yourself as well, it's a certain title, JBW Hardcore Championship, I'm correct?
The Wanderer lost his JBW Championship last night when he was at Pursuit Pro Wrestling. That's right, the Wanderer wandered in there to chase Darryl and take back what was rightfully his. And what did those absolute excuses of Pursuit Pro Wrestling students do? They tried to jump on the bandwagon. They tried to get themselves over. They tried to jump on the Wanderer spotlight and take away the most prestigious championship in all of Scottish professional wrestling. That's right, it's the most prestigious championship in all Scottish wrestling because it's held by the greatest wrestler in Scottish wrestling. That's right, it's held by the man that's from here, there, and everywhere. The one, the only, Mr. Wanderer. The Wanderer has made an absolute joke of a championship into something that's so prestigious. You see the videos that are out there on Instagram. You've seen the Wanderer absolutely massacre Darrow in those takeaways in the Park Villa hub. You've seen it all. It's been liked and been watched by some of the greatest wrestlers in the country. That's right. Mr. Grado saw that video. He liked that video. You liked that one, Grado? So he did. Grado, if you're watching, do you want some of that smoke? Do you want to come to Attitude Pro Wrestling? Come on, let's do it. Let's sign the deal. Grado, come to Attitude Pro Wrestling in 2025. Let's have Grado versus the Wanderer. Let's do it, Grado. Let's do it. The fans want it. The people want it. Let's do it. If you're watching, I must say, Grado, as a man that grew up from 13 years old, as a guy that grew up watching and idolising you, you've become an absolute joke in the last couple of years. You were out there performing weekly. You were out there carrying Scottish wrestling on your back. And what have you done? You've took a step back and went and prioritised the BBC, Mr. Scott Squad, Mr. Two Doors Down. And in that time you've been gone, the Wanderer has carried Scottish wrestling on his back. The Wanderer has made a name for himself in Scotland. The Wanderer has produced one of the greatest, newest, rising promotions in Scotland today. That is Attitude Pro Wrestling. Grado, let's do it. Let's sign the contract. Let's sign the deal. Come to Attitude Pro Wrestling. Wrestle the Wanderer. And he will make an absolute joke of you.
Oh, boy,
You were a guy I grew up idolising. And all you've done is let your fans down.
Buddy. Grado is, obviously somebody who's very known within our scene, truly idolized by some, and just truly loved.
Without Grado, there's no Scottish wrestling.
Exactly. Do you think maybe you're biting a bit off more than you can chew when going after Grado? I mean, it's a valiant effort, but it's Grado.
The Wanderer is the greatest wrestler in Scotland. Grado is also one of the greatest wrestlers in Scotland. It's the match everybody wants to see.
No doubt there, buddy. I mean, if that match does get announced for next year, hey, I'm wishing you all the best of luck. I mean, you're the guest of the show. Grado isn't, so you got my support. So I'm sure you'll be walking away hand held high. My God, man, that is something as well. But you know what? There's many other matches on this card as well for Ruggy Havoc. And one I definitely got into is Mayhem Brooks versus the Big Strong Man.
You seen the video? You seen the Instagram reel? The Wanderer was sitting, celebrating his sixth time JBW Hardcore Championship victory. And what did Mayhem Brooks do? He stormed in Mr. Wanderer's private backstage area at Grassroots Wrestling. And what did he do? He stormed in and came up to me and cried like a little bitch that he's turned into since he got married. The Big Strong Man went out on Instagram. And what did he do? he told the truth. He was right about everything that he said. Mayhem Brooks was destined to be Attitude Pro Wrestling's first ever Scottish champion. Mayhem Brooks was destined for greatness in Scotland. Mayhem Brooks is without a doubt one of the most underlooked professional wrestlers that Scotland has came across. And the only reason that is because promoters are sleeping on him because of the distance that he stays. The guy's from Elgin. A lot of people in Glasgow, they want to save the cash. That's right. A lot of people have slept on Mayhem Brooks. He's one of the hardest. In fact, he's one of the most dominant strikers, one of the most dominant grapplers, one of the most dominant fighters I've ever stepped foot in a ring with. And ever since Ruggy Mania 2, he's become an absolute joke. He doesn't want it enough anymore. Ever since he's got married, he's become too comfy. He's gotten lazy. He's gotten off track. He's gone down in the cards. He lost to Cousin Xander. He should have massacred him. In fact, he just beat Brian Mojo. That little twig that absolutely butchered at Ruggy Mania 2 in front of his mother. In front of his nephew. Absolutely murdered that little boy. And Mayhem Brooks, he nearly lost to that little boy that the Wanderer absolutely done in front of his family.
Whoa.
Mayhem Brooks, you became an absolute joke. Well, the big strong man has proven why he's one of the best professional wrestlers in Scotland today. One of the most hardest workers that this country's ever seen. The big strong man is going to make a joke of Mayhem Brooks at Ruggy Havoc. The big strong man is going to prove why he is one of the best all-round wrestlers in Scotland. He's going to beat Mayhem Brooks. I guarantee you, the big strong man is going to prove everybody wrong.
My, oh my, Wanderer. My, oh my, indeed. I mean, God. I mean, big strong man. He's a big strong laddie. Look, let's go with an if scenario. If Mayhem Brooks is somehow able to triumph over the big strong man, do you think this might light that fire back up in Brooks?
Never say never. However, Mayhem Brooks has gone soft. Big strong man, he's got this in the bag. Mayhem Brooks, you've gone soft. There's nothing for you here anymore. And if you lose to the big strong man, guess what? You're done. You will never get another opportunity in Attitude Pro Wrestling again. This is the last straw for you. Go out there and show them who Grapzilla really is. Wake up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's a lot of extra stuff now on this plate, and who knows what that victory or defeat could become by the end of that match. But my God almighty. But you know what? There's plenty more on this amazing show. Truly amazing show that's going to be on October 25th. Obviously, need to talk about the Attitude Pro Wrestling Women's Championship, which will be in a four-way. Ruby Roberts, Nicole Jasmine, Violet Vendetta, and Celine. Four exceptional women. They're four truly exceptional women. And Wander, your thoughts on this? Do you see maybe somebody walking out with a belt?
Listen, This is a great match for many reasons. One, we've got someone, Ruby Roberts, who never won the APW Women's Championship because Ashley Vega got involved in her match at Bound for Wishaw. 2, we have Celine, who's travelling all the way from Paris, France, looking to make a name for herself in Scotland, looking to prove why she should be everywhere around the world. Unfortunately, I have an announcement to make.
Oh.
Last week, due to an injury sustained at a live event, Violet Vendetta can no longer compete at Ruggy Havoc. She's unfortunately dislocated her knee. We wish her the best speedy recovery, and hopefully we'll have her back in APW in 2025. As a guarantee, we will definitely have Violet Vendetta in APW in 2025. We were looking forward to having her, but unfortunately she sustained an injury on her knee, and we wish her all the best in her recovery. So now, on to a replacement.
Oh.
I can't announce it on the show today. However, we will announce on Instagram, on Facebook, in the coming days. Once this podcast is released, we are going to announce a replacement for the APW Women's Championship at Ruggy Havoc in a fatal four-way match. Nicole Jasmine, Ruby Roberts, Celine. This is going to be a big one, ladies. Stay tuned.
Whoa, surprise, surprise. You might as well be Stella Black, because god damn, that will be something indeed. You've obviously, Violet, for myself, I want to really wish her the best in recovery, and I'm sure she'll be doing great things.
Most definitely. We were looking forward to having her. Unfortunately, in professional wrestling, this is what we sign up for. These things happen. But she's took it on the chin. She's going to get stuck in and make sure she's back soon. So hopefully we'll see you out there in the next coming months. Have a speedy recovery, and we'll see you back in a wrestling ring soon.
Absolutely, and I truly wish her all the best as well. And this mystery woman, this mystery opponent, you really sold me on the surprise here of who this could be.
Trust
and I'm
me,
sure
this one is big. Listen, we are trying to bring in the best women from all over the globe. We are going to bring in the best women from all over the globe and make Scottish women's wrestling great again.
Oh, right. This is exciting, Wonder. That's truly exciting. But you know what? Obviously, there's another match which was recently announced in the last few days of us recording here. The Attitude Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships will be on the line. Termination Z versus the Temple of Malice. Now, Termination Z.
Again, another massive match. This one's very big. Termination Z are going up against one of the most sinister, one of the spookiest, one of the most dominant tag teams in all of pro wrestling. That's right. They're going up against the Temple of Malice, Isaac North and Rob Drake. Termination Z are one of Scotland's most dominant tag teams. They went undefeated for over 2.5 years, beating the best teams up and down the country, up and down the UK, even some of the best teams in Europe. And they're going up against the Temple of Malice. Isaac North and Rob Drake are very dominant. This is going to be big. My predictions, the way Termination Z have been going recently, Temple of Malice have got this. Temple of Malice are coming up to Scotland to dominate. They're coming to take over. The tag team division is going to be dominant once again.
Yeah, one you mentioned it there because obviously, Termination Z, very dominant. They held obviously the APW and CPW tag titles at the same time, but they lost the CPW titles to Casino Brutal. I mean, do you think Termination Z's days, not only as champions, but maybe as a team, are numbered?
Listen, Darryl's only concerned about chasing greatness from the Wanderer. He's trying to chase success from the Wanderer in his JBW Hardcore Championship. Big Ross, he's got bigger things to worry about. He's going on to higher stakes. He's facing the Handsome Man's Club leader for the CPW Heavyweight Championship at Gov Anniversary. He's got a lot on his plate as well. They two, as a team, they aren't focused enough. This is the difference between the Wanderer and Termination Z. They aren't great. The Wanderer can carry a team and carry himself at the same time. In fact, the Wanderer's carrying Scottish wrestling in himself at the same time. Termination Z, you're losing the rhythm. What happened to yous? Yous are gone soft, just like Mayhem Brooks. Yous have gone soft. The Temple of Malice are hungry. They're hungry for that gold. They're struggling to sleep at night. Because yous have got what is theirs. They're coming for what yous have got. And at this point, yous are going to get munched. Yous are going to get terminated.
Well, those boys are definitely going to have to be on guard for that match coming up. Of course, APW Ruggy Havoc will be 25th of October from the Glencairn venue. General doors will open at 6:30 p.m. with first bell at 7 p.m. Adults £10, children £8, and family £30. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Tickets available now from eventbrite.co.uk. Follow us on social media. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
absolutely, and I'm sure people will do indeed. But Wander, our time's coming here at the end here, and I know you are a busy man. You got to go back and get that hardcore title back, get that right under your wing again.
The Wanderer is coming for that 9-time JBW Hardcore champion, baby.
I have no doubt in my mind you'll get that 9-time indeed. But before we wrap up, my friend, 2025, you've mentioned you want to go after Grado as well, but I do love to know as well, what other goals are there for the Wanderer in 2025?
What are goals for the Wanderer? You're just going to have to wait and see.
Well, we all do love surprises, Wanderer, and I'm sure you're a man who will deliver upon those surprises. Well, folks, finish up your drink, put your chairs away, and of course, down in the description. Whoa.
We're not done.
We're not done.
We're not done just yet. That's right. We're not done just yet.
Okay.
I've got an important announcement to make to wrap up the show. You think the Wanderer is going to come on the Soul Sessions, one of the greatest podcasts in all of UK wrestling right now, because the Wanderer's on it. The Wanderer has got an important announcement to make. Ravie-Davie is going up against TNA wrestling icon Suicide. He is defending the APW Scottish Championship. As you know, the Wanderer can't challenge for the championship as long as Ravie-Davie is champion. Unfortunately, we need to oblige by the rules, and it's all thanks to Manky Frankie that this has all happened. So thank Manky Frankie for Ravie-Davie's success. So, what's the important announcement the Wanderer has to make? The Wanderer's going to tell you. The winner between Suicide and Ravie-Davie for that APW Scottish Championship will go on to the Ruggy Rumble 2 next year and face Sammy D. Now, Sammy D, he already challenged for the APW Scottish Championship. Nah. This one is different. This is bigger. Sammy D, if he is still the Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling World Champion, it's going to be Hard Knocks versus APW. Winner takes all. So the winner of Ravie-Davie and Suicide will face Sammy D in a huge title v title match.
Eesh, yeah, Wanderer, you are a man who delivers on surprises.
Listen, the Wanderer came back to Scottish wrestling in 2022. Everybody in Scotland, if you're watching this right now, all yous look down on me. All yous made a joke of me. Fact, yous all still make a joke of me. But listen, one thing's for certain. The Wanderer's here to take over. And Scottish wrestling is in the palm of the Wanderer's hands. In the time the Wanderers came back, he's proven why he's the greatest wrestler in Scotland today. So the Wanderer is going to put on the best wrestling shows in Scotland. And it's all going to be for the price of a tenner, £8 a child, £30 for a family. It's going to be the cheapest and the best product in the country. In 2025, we're going to make big waves. We're going to put on the best wrestling in Europe.
Wanderer, you definitely
And it's all
deliver.
going to happen in the Glencairn venue in Rutherglen. The greatest wrestling in the country is going to happen in the Glencairn.
Truly indeed, my friend. You are definitely putting on a cheap but quality product that people can truly enjoy.
So get your tickets now, ladies and gentlemen, because we have less than 50 tickets remaining for the Halloween Wrestling Spooktacular. That's Ruggy Havoc.
Truly indeed, folks. Of course, I will include a link to Wanderer and APW's Instagram. Click on them. You can follow his journey, but of course, follow the Attitude Pro Wrestling account and get your tickets on eventbrite.co.uk. You've heard the prices. I will not repeat them. He's done a good job of that. So get your tickets for this show. Well, folks, finish up your drink, put your chairs away, and thank you as always for tuning in, me and of course, Mr. Wanderer, for another episode of the Soul Sessions.